Christmas trees into the lake, and the results were astonishing. Welcome to the latest issue of Top Secret. Can you imagine the scene of millions of Christmas trees that once shimmered with lights being thrown straight into the lake without any regret? It sounds crazy, but the results left the world stunned. From seemingly useless withered branches, the lake suddenly transformed into a paradise for fish. The land was freed from the destructive hands of the sea, and waste turned into green gold. What mystery lies behind this strange action? The idea from the biggest festival. When the Christmas season ends, millions of Christmas trees that once shimmered with lights and brought joy to families are now brutally forgotten. In America, it's estimated that about 15 million trees are ruthlessly discarded each year. They lie scattered on the streets, piled up in landfills, or thrown into any hidden corner that people don't bother to care about. But from those seemingly withered trees waiting to rot, a miracle occurred. Instead of letting them end their lives meaninglessly, a group of creative people found a way to breathe new life into the abandoned trees. They took thousands of those trees and dropped them into lakes, turning barren scenes into safe habitats for fish and many underwater creatures. Not stopping there, this method also helps improve aquatic ecosystems, even contributing to saving lands gradually disappearing due to harsh nature. This is not just a simple recycling act, but also an inspiring story about how humans can turn what seems like waste into valuable assets. Both protecting the environment and bringing unexpected benefits to life. Try to imagine that scene a little. Millions of Christmas trees that were once the center of cozy parties, once surrounded by children with radiant smiles, are now pushed to the roadside with no one looking back. The dry pine branches, once sparkling with glitter, now lie silently amidst dirt and cold wind. But from those forgotten trees, a bold idea emerged. People realized that if they dropped them into water, those pine branches would no longer be waste but become ideal living spaces for lake creatures. Small fish quietly come, hiding on the branches to escape predators. Tiny plankton begin to multiply around the dry foliage, creating an abundant food source for larger fish species. Gradually, an entire underwater ecosystem revives, as if those trees were given a new mission, nobler than when they stood in living rooms with dazzling lights. But the story doesn't stop at lakes. In other regions, pine trees are also utilized for greater purposes. People use them to hold sand on coastlines, preventing erosion that's gradually swallowing the land. Some places even turn them into raw materials for producing green fuel, opening a new direction for cleanup. Each abandoned tree now not only contributes to protecting nature but also becomes living proof of humanity's endless creativity. When facing seemingly unsolvable problems, they don't choose to give up but find solutions to turn difficulties into opportunities. From withered pine branches, they created a magical circle of life, where waste is no longer a burden but becomes a precious resource. Wasting Christmas trees and the environmental burden. Every time the Christmas season ends, Americans face a reality that weighs heavily on their hearts. According to statistics, about 15 million Christmas trees are discarded within just a few short weeks after the holiday. In Manhattan alone, in January 2023, the Sanitation Department recorded a massive volume of up to 340,000 tons of trees discarded throughout the streets. Those numbers not only cause dizziness but also make people stop and reflect on how we treat the nature around us. Those trees were once carefully nurtured for 7 to 10 years in sprawling fields, watered and cherished to become symbols of festival joy. Yet now, they've turned into massive piles of waste, scattered on sidewalks, street corners, or anywhere people conveniently throw them away. The consequence is that the landscape becomes messy, and the environment suffers unnecessary damage. The Christmas tree production industry in America isn't just a small activity but truly an operating machine with astonishing scale. There are about 16,000 farms spread across all 50 states, where over 100,000 workers diligently work to meet the demand of millions of families each Christmas season. Each year, they provide 25 to 35 million trees, bringing festival atmosphere to every home from bustling cities to peaceful rural areas. In places like Ashe County, North Carolina, nearly 2 million trees were produced in 2023 alone, while Clark, Kansas, Oregon wasn't far behind with similar numbers. Interestingly, even in Hawaii, a land filled with warm sunshine and tropical climate, there are still pine farms serving people who want to enjoy traditional Christmas atmosphere. But that joy lasts only momentarily. When the festival passes, most of those once loved trees are ruthlessly thrown outside, left exposed to sun and rain, gradually rotting and releasing the CO2 they absorbed throughout their growth years. The consequences of discarding trees don't stop at urban aesthetic loss. Each decomposing tree releases about 16 kilograms of CO2 into the air. With millions of trees discarded each year, a total emission accumulates into a massive burden for the environment, contributing to worsening climate change issues. If people take these trees to landfills, the situation doesn't improve much. There, they pile up, decompose over time, continue emitting toxic gases and polluting the surrounding air. Can't help but feel frustrated by this situation because trees that were nature. Over time, the problem is no longer small but becomes a major challenge requiring solutions for change. But not everyone chooses to stand still watching the problem drift away hopelessly. From that sad reality, a group of people decided to act to find a way out. They refused to let the trees end their lives in wastefulness but find ways to turn them from waste into valuable resources. A bold idea was proposed. Take those withered trees and drop them into lakes to revive life in the depths. Seemingly useless Christmas trees have now become hiding places for fish, forming the foundation for a more robust aquatic ecosystem. This is not only a smart recycling method but also opens up a promising direction, showing that with just a bit of creativity and responsibility, humans can completely transform abandoned items into valuable resources. From the scattered Christmas trees lying on the streets, they created a new story where nature is not only protected but also given a chance to revive and shine in an unexpected way. Underwater Christmas trees, the new home for fish. At first, the idea of dropping dried-out Christmas trees into lakes might make many people frown due to its strangeness. But when looking at reality, this approach yields such incredible results that it's hard to believe. Two just lie still like inanimate objects but truly integrate into the lake. With their naturally dense branches and leaves, they turn into ideal hiding spots for small fish. Thanks to the interwoven pine branches, fish can hide from predators, finding a safe corner in the deep water. Moreover, the shade created by the trees underwater provides cool spaces, attracting plankton and aquatic insects to thrive and multiply. These tiny organisms not only enrich life but also become an abundant food source for larger fish like bass or walleye. As a result, the area around the submerged trees suddenly becomes a grand feast, where all lake creatures benefit. To see this miracle more clearly, look at the story of Canyon Ferry Lake in Montana. In the 1990s, this place witnessed a severe decline in walleye numbers, a species crucial to both the ecosystem and human fishing enjoyment. The reason was that walleye need underwater vegetation to spawn and lay eggs, but fluctuating water levels prevented natural plants from growing. Faced with that situation, in 1999, the Montana Fish and Wildlife Department decided not to stand idly by. They came up with a bold method, using helicopters to drop thousands of used Christmas trees into the lake. These trees were tied securely with concrete blocks to ensure they sank to the bottom and stayed in place. By 2013, they used 3,500 trees, and the number increased to 4,000 in 2019. The results truly amazed everyone. Walleye found new homes to safely spawn on the pine branches, and their numbers increased significantly. This not only helped the lake ecosystem recover but also brought joy to fishing enthusiasts, making Canyon Ferry a more ideal destination than ever. Further away in Oregon, Christmas trees even helped save a rare fish species, the coho salmon. This species was facing extinction because dams and human-built structures had destroyed their natural habitat. To address the issue, a program called Christmas for Coho was launched. Each year, about 400 dried trees are brought to rivers and wetlands, where they're dropped to create change. Those trees slow down water flow, creating peaceful resting spots and safe hiding places for young salmon on their long journey to the ocean. The effectiveness of this initiative is remarkable. In 1996, only about 50,000 coho salmon returned to the rivers to spawn. But by the 2010s, that number had surged to 200,000, a fourfold increase in a short time. All thanks to trees that seemed worthless after the holiday season, now becoming saviors for a disappearing species. These stories are not just random coincidences but clear evidence that a seemingly small action can bring about significant changes for nature. From Canyon Ferry Lake to the rivers in Oregon, Christmas trees have overcome their fate of being forgotten to become key elements in protecting and regenerating underwater life. They show that with just a bit of creativity and effort, humans can turn abandoned items into effective tools, benefiting not only the environment but also our own lives. This is a lesson about the magical connection between humans and nature, where everything has value if placed and used correctly. Saving land from underwater with Christmas trees. Utilizing Christmas trees doesn't stop at beautifying lakes but extends to protecting inland areas threatened by nature daily. In Louisiana, where land is constantly eroded by the sea, people have discovered a creative way to use Christmas trees to combat erosion. Since 1932, this region has lost over 5,000 square kilometers of area, a staggering figure. If no measures are taken, predictions show that in the next 50 years, another 8,000 square kilometers will be washed away into the sea. The rate of land loss here is frightening. Every 100 minutes, a piece of land equivalent to a football field disappears underwater. When fierce storms hit, this happens many times faster, leaving residents in constant worry. The root cause lies in dams blocking natural sediment flow. While oil and gas extraction projects destroy marshes, which are crucial protective layers helping the coast withstand storms. To address this urgent situation, Louisiana did not hesitate to invest millions of dollars in coastal protection projects, and Christmas trees unexpectedly became an essential part of this effort. After each Christmas season, residents in New Orleans start collecting 4,000 to 6,000 discarded trees. They don't leave them useless, they tie them tightly in along walls with sturdy ropes. Then, helicopters are mobilized to transport these tree walls to coastal wetland areas. When dropped, they act as natural barriers, preventing sediment from being washed away by sea waves. Thanks to this, plants have a chance to grow, gradually restoring the lost marshlands. For over 25 years, this method has helped restore hundreds of hectares of land at the Bayou Savage Reserve, which was originally home to fish, crabs, shrimp, and countless other species. What's special is that using helicopters not only supports the environment but also brings unexpected benefits. Military pilots get to practice their flying skills through these transport missions, both saving the land and enhancing their capacity to. Further in Texas, Christmas trees have found a new role in coastal protection. Here, the Cycloco Company devised a way to plant trees along the shore to prevent sand from being blown away by the wind. Those dry pine branches help form natural sand dunes, providing shelter and nesting sites for sea turtles, a species heavily impacted by storms. After Hurricane Beryl in 2024, many sand dunes along the Texas coast were completely destroyed, leaving devastation behind. But thanks to the trees placed down, sand gradually accumulated, the dunes slowly regenerated, bringing hope for rare turtles like Acanthus ridley. These turtles, already facing extinction risks, now have a better chance of survival thanks to relentless human efforts. From serene lake depths to endless coastlines, Christmas trees have far surpassed their role as holiday decorations. They've become powerful tools for protecting ecosystems, from providing habitats for underwater fish to preventing inland erosion from sea waves. Moreover, they protect humans from nature's fury, from storms to erosion. The story of the trees in Lua, Indiana, and Texas shows that with creativity and determination, humans can turn seemingly useless things into weapons against their greatest challenges. This is not just an act of environmental protection but also a way for us to live more harmoniously with the natural world around us. From waste to green fuel. T limited to protecting water and land areas but also opens a promising path when they. In the UK, where 6 to 8 million trees are discarded each year after Christmas, scientists have discovered incredible potential in those small pine needles. They found that by processing pine needles with heat and solvents, they can produce bio-oil along with biochar. This oil becomes an efficient raw material for producing paint, adhesive, or even edible vinegar, while biochar finds its place in various industries. But that's not all. Researchers also found ways to extract formic acid from pine needles, a substance that can be used as a food preservative, support antibacterial properties in animal feed, or contribute to leather and rubber production. Furthermore, pine needles open new prospects when used as raw materials for hydrogen fuel cells, a clean energy source the world is pursuing. Although its efficiency can't compare to sugarcane in the same role, pine needles still have their own advantages. During the post-Christmas period, when piles of trees are left on streets and landfills, they become ideal choices for utilization. This approach not only helps reduce waste, but also changes how oil plants operate, bringing them closer to greening production goals. From dry pine branches, seemingly only worth throwing away, humans have created new resources, turning what was once considered worthless into products with significance beyond imagination. This clearly demonstrates that with creativity and vision, Waste can not only be recycled but also become the foundation for a more sustainable future, both protecting the environment and bringing practical value to life. Lessons from Christmas trees and a green future. The story of Christmas trees isn't merely a recycling journey but also how humans face waste to turn it into valuable opportunities. Through this, they show that even seemingly useless things can bring great value if viewed with creative eyes. Tea always as perfect as we. In the US, people use over 120,000 kilograms of pesticides annually to cultivate these trees. Worryingly, 85% of these belong to toxic chemical groups, such as acaricin, a substance that not only harms animals but also negatively affects human health. This presents a difficult problem. Although Christmas trees bring many wonderful benefits, from protecting ecosystems to creating new resources, we still need to be cautious to avoid unintentionally causing unforeseen negative consequences. From peaceful lakes in Montana, through vast swamps in Louisiana, to extensive coastlines in Texas, and even modern laboratories in the UK. Christmas trees have transcended their initial role as holiday decorations. They're not just dry branches left after Christmas but have become symbols of innovation and responsibility. Through human hands, they're reborn to protect fish in lakes, prevent soil erosion, or even transform into green fuel for the future. This sends us a powerful message that with just creativity and awareness, everything in the world can find new meaning. Looking ahead, as the whole world strives toward more sustainable living, those dry pine trees may well continue to serve as beacons of hope. They not only benefit nature but also serve as reminders that humans are fully capable of correcting their mistakes, turning waste into strength to build a better tomorrow. From materials seemingly useless making positive environmental changes, truly an earth-saving innovation. And if you found this information useful, don't forget to hit subscribe to the Top Secret Beyond the Veil 0707 channel. Thank you and see you again.